You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey there, GH fans. Belinda from Soap Dirt here, and we've got some word on Steve Burton's contract length now that he's back at the ABC soap opera. And in terms of soap time, frankly, it's just a blip. So what does this mean for his storyline, knowing there's a ticking countdown timer on how long Jason's gonna be back in Port Charles? We're gonna dive into all that, but first, please click subscribe if you have not yet. So just real quick before we dive into Steve Burton's contract details and his goals and plans around that and what it means for Jason and everybody else, I just want to touch real quickly on the divisiveness I'm already seeing on soap social media about Jason's comeback story. I mentioned a few months ago a spoiler, and it was from ABC Official. This was when they released their early 2024 spoilers, okay? So this was, at the time, written, planned, not shot yet, but written, okay? So I mentioned months ago that the spoiler about Elizabeth Weber, someone from her past, is back knocking at her door looking for help. Those were spoilers issued by the now fired co-head writers Chris Van Etten and Dan O'Connor. The initial Jason storyline was supposedly him back, shot, and running to Liz. And then they fired those writers and handed the Jason return over to Elizabeth Corte. Patrick Mulcahy's writing credits have not shown up yet, so we're watching for those, obviously. And some info leaking from behind the scenes says that Corte completely refused to write Elizabeth as part of Jason's initial return. I mean, obviously, she's going to find out he's alive. Obviously, they will see each other at some point, but she was blocked, according to some behind-the-scenes sources. So there are a lot of fans up in arms saying Liz being a nurse, it makes more sense for him to have gone to her. Other fans are getting riled up saying the Q Mansion is his family home and Willow's his family too. Others saying, remember, Carly's a nurse. I don't remember her completing nursing school. Also, that's a matter for research on another day. So this is the same debate that's been going on for a long time. Those who want Jason with Liz versus those who want him with Sam, and now this faction that wants him with Carly. So I predict a lot more arguing on social media, but bear in mind, ticking countdown, he's not going to be there forever. So the big question, of course, will Jason stay? How long will he stay this time? If you remember when Steve Burton left over the vaccine mandates, he said, quote, maybe one day if these mandates are lifted, I can return and finish my career as Jason Morgan. That would be an honor. And this year, when Burton confirmed his return to General Hospital, he said, quote, I have 2 to 3 years left of acting, and then I want to do other things. So he's not interested in sticking around Port Charles indefinitely. He's looking at a couple of years of paychecks. And him saying 2 to 3 years left is very interesting in light of the new information about the length of his contract with the ABC soap opera. Burton confirmed he inked a 2-year deal, and then he called out some misinformation being spread online saying he was only back for 3 months and that Jason would die. I tell you guys, don't click on those garbage channels. They are spreading lies for clicks, the same for the articles that do the same thing. If your jaw drops and you say, what, really? Is that happening? That's crazy. It's probably a garbage spam spreader of lies. Anyway, so Steve Burton said, quote, it's a 2-year contract and I'm not dying. So I'm sure he knows he's not going to be dying between now and probably the end of those 2 years. But if he doesn't extend his contract beyond that point, I would wager a guess that Jason might be killed off. I don't see them recasting him at that point. At the end of this contract, 2 years, it kind of coincides with how long he said he wants to work before quitting acting for good 2 to 3 years. So maybe we get a 1-year renewal. Maybe we have 3 years of him. But if he meant what he said about retiring, then that's not too long in terms of soap years to have Jason Morgan. 2-3 years, that's going to fly by. You guys know it will. I mean, when you think back, like, just for instance, how long ago do you think it was that Sonny Corinthos died and went to Nixon Falls? It was December of 2020. So it's been like 3.5 years. And it seems like just yesterday, right? Just as a frame of reference, that's how fast time moves for soap viewers. So Jason's going to be a blip. We're going to be having this conversation in 2 to 3 years. So with that in mind and an expectation that they would either write Jason off to like a permanent European vacation like they did with Luke Spencer, or kill him off for reals like they did with Victor Cassadine, I have a few items on my Jason Morgan wish list. Some are things I want to see and some are things I definitely do not want to see. First and foremost, I hope the writers don't have Jason Morgan impregnating anybody over the next 2 years. He has got more kids than he has time to care about. So just know, no glove, no love, Jason. Zip it up. Even Carly's still fertile. We know this. So just don't. All right. Second, let's not have Sonny running back. I'm okay if Jason works at the Invader, at Deception, or as a busboy at Bobby's Diner, but just not the blindly obedient mob enforcer anymore. We've been there. We've done that. We've seen the black t-shirt. All right. Third, for something I do want to see, I want to see Jason spending time with both of his sons, Jake and Danny, and to spend time with them equally, not one more than the other. We already had Danny getting to see him first. And when the initial storyline was for Liz to help him, Jake was supposed to be there too, just by the way. So fourth, I don't want to see Jason in a love triangle. Put him with Carly, fine. Put him with Liz, fine. But don't have them scrapping over him. And I only mention Liz because I'm not such a fan of her and Finn. Fizz for me is all fizzle. No sizzle, but maybe that's just me. Fifth, I do not want Sam back in Jason's romantic path unless Dante dies, and then maybe. I don't think Dominic Zapronia is leaving, though. I don't think Dante's going to die. We'll see. Of course, they might be in contract negotiations with him and have him in a coma to play hardball, but I don't think he's due for renewal until like July. Anyway, I think Dante and Sam have this amazing romance they've built over time, and her leaving that for Jason would be ridiculous. So I hope they don't do it. Sixth, I really, really, really want to see Monica Quartermain back to see her son, Jason Morgan, and hold him in her arms. I'm so irritated that they brought her back for that Finn nonsense when it's clear that Leslie Charlson seems to be in poor health. Save her for important stuff that matters, since it doesn't look like she can be on too much. And I definitely think Monica needs to come back and hold her boy Jason in her arms. And last, but by no means least, I do not want General Hospital to turn into Jason Hospital. Of course, we expect to see lots of Jason in his return arc. I'm sure they spent big money getting him back, but then I hope he'll be part of the ensemble cast and not the 500-pound gorilla front and center in every single freaking storyline. And I already, even before he came back, I thought we had too many scenes with Carly, too many scenes with Sonny, which is par for the course. And I fear that with Jason back, it's going to be nonstop Carly, Sonny, Jason, the CSJ show. All right, we'll see how it goes, but we've got at least 2 more years of Jason Morgan. Please click subscribe if you haven't already. Definitely drop your comments on what you'd like to see, presuming we only have him for a couple of years, and definitely come back soon. And as always, it's Belinda from Soap Dirt.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.